Detroit, Michigan, yeah, Motor City, and home to the sweet sounds of Motown. We're in the suburbs today at Thunderbolt Lanes inside historic Strobel Arena, where the first event took place here 65 years ago. Raucous crowd here. Our master stepladder sees number 5 seed Bud Croll back after losing last week in the title match. Number 4 is Matt Sanders, who 8 months ago wasn't sure if he could even walk again, let alone bowl. Number 3, Jesper Svensson, is in his second major show of the year. Number 2, 21-year-old Eric Jones, has made his 3rd TV appearance looking for his first title. And number 1 seed, EJ Tacket, is in his 80th TV appearance, searching for his 8th major, but it will be his first Masters title. Alongside Kyle Sherman, Rick Allen with you. We talk a lot about majors. This is the 3rd already of the season, but really a unique one, Kyle.
Yeah, this is one of the most unique formats we have. We started with 390 bowlers, both amateurs and professionals. We cut that down to a 64-man bracket where it was double elimination match play, where you didn't have to beat the field, you just had to beat the guy you were going against, and that makes for some of the most interesting bowling and exciting bowling that we see all year.
And it's going to get even more interesting because we have EJ Tacket in the field. He's the number 1 seed. He has won virtually every major, but he hasn't won the Masters. Yeah, back in 2017, he won the PBA Tournament of Champions. In 2023 and 2025, he won the U.S. Open, the PBA World Championships in 2016, 23, 24, and 25, but he has not got the Grand Slam to join these 3, Albee, Duke, Belmonte. Will he be the 4th? Let's hear from the guy shooting for that title. He's standing by with Taryn Hatcher.
All right, EJ, this specific event, it's been a little bit of elusive for you when it comes to winning it. What makes it hard? How bad do you want this one specifically?
Well, I want to win all the majors really bad. Obviously, this one's kind of been my Achilles heel over the years. It's only the 2nd time I've been on the TV show. Now, 2nd time I've been number 1 seed, too. So hopefully I can get that done today. But I'm excited to get out there and try to win.
I know you saw that graphic up there, Grand Slam, obviously something on the line with this here today. Is that something you're trying to put out of your mind, or is it added motivation? What's the thought when you think of the big G, the big S?
Well, you have to look at it as I got to go out and just bowl. And if I'm able to go out and bowl a good game today, and if I'm able to win, that kind of stuff will take care of itself. But first and foremost, I have to be focused on the task at hand and go bowl a good game.
As always, no surprise, a healthy approach from EJ Tacket. Thank you so much. Good luck today.
Thank you.
Guys.
And EJ is going to start practicing and get ready to watch this first match, and it will be Matt Sanders and Bud Croll. Let's hear from the 2 competitors.
I'm Matt Sanders, and I'm here for my first major. I'm Bud Croll. You saw me last week, but now I'm here in Michigan for some redemption.
Yeah, that redemption bowled a 136 against Marshall Kent's 152. He wants to wipe that 136 out of his memory. And it looks as though Matt Sanders is getting ready to bowl first. And so the higher seed gets to choose who goes first. They'll start in the left lane. And Matt is that higher seed, and he has chosen to go first. And the 7-pin stays up for Matt Sanders on the first bowl. Ball of the 2026 Masters.
Take another look at this shot by Matt. Great opening shot. Just leaving the 7-pin here. He'll take that coming out of the gates.
Statistically, picking up a 7-pin, piece of cake for these guys. I mean, 99.9% of the time they get it. But when you're on television, under the lights, in front of a big crowd, it's different.
Especially that first one out of the gates.
And just like that, he misses the 7. Not the way Matt wanted to start. Bud Croll knows all about this. Like he had mentioned, he wanted redemption. Last week, Bud Croll, the number 1 seed in the Indiana Classic, and all of a sudden, the wheels came off of that cart.
Yeah, Bud, an amazing week last week. Led the field, which is incredibly hard to do, but fell apart in the title match. Looking for a little redemption today.
And the messenger is not going to take the 10 down. It thought about it. It tickled the 10.
A little double tap there, but need a little bit more. You take a look at Boog's form. Ball just deflected a little too much, but almost got a great break there with the messenger. Now looking to take advantage of the opening that Matt Sanders has given Boog early in this match.
And he knows he got it, so he will spare. We mentioned last week in the championship match, he was the #1 seed facing Marshall Kent. He rolled a strike. Yes, only one strike in the final match. Marshall Kent had 4 strikes. Kent ended up winning 152 to 136. The combined score, the lowest in PBA title match history between the two of those, but Marshall Kent still got to hoist the trophy at the end.
Yeah, he doesn't care that he shot 150.
There's a strike for Bud Croll.
Boog looking very comfortable early in this match. And you know, Rick, I think it was very beneficial that he got the bowl last week under the TV lights. He's accustomed to it, and he can kind of settle in a little bit faster. Matt hasn't bowled in this environment. As we take a look at his arsenal, he's throwing the spy. This is a very low-performing, almost spare ball-esque reaction, but it has a big asymmetrical core in it.
And there's the first strike for Matt Sanders. I want to take a look at our Bowl TV highlights. Matt Sanders took the longest route to the finals of the 5 players, failing earlier in the winning bracket, needing to win 7 matches to make the show. Now, you see how emotional Matt is right here. 8 months ago, Sanders couldn't walk. Last week, he had to withdraw because of swelling in his leg. Today, he's bowling for a major title. With more on that, here's Taryn.
Matt described to us a freak incident that happened last summer while he was moving. He said it was a large pane of glass, whether it was from a door or a table. He wasn't even sure, because he said he doesn't remember a whole lot. He tries to black out the incident as much as he can, and it fell on the bottom part of his leg and his foot, and it did quite a bit of damage, tendons, ligaments, and to nerve. So for a while, he wasn't sure. The doctors couldn't even really give him a timeline for what a return might look like, because they hadn't seen a freak injury quite like that. And I asked him yesterday, I thought it was notable, when did you feel like, as Boog, nearly the strike there, not quite. I asked him, when did you feel like you could really bowl again? When did you feel like you could compete? And he said, well, I did a competition the week before this season's schedule kicked off just to see if I could get through it. And once I did that, I thought, all right, I think I can try to navigate this. So it really wasn't until just before the PBA season kicked off that Matt was even sure he was going to be able to bowl this year.
Yeah, pretty incredible. That injury happened in July. As you see Boog pick up the spare. But that injury to Matt happened in July. He started to try to bowl in December, and then, as Taryn just mentioned, was able to bowl in a tournament just to see if he could bowl just the week before the season started.
Yeah, unbelievable story from Matt. We take a look at Boog's arsenal. He's throwing the same exact ball as Matt is. The spy, again, lower performing, almost spare ball, but it has an asymmetrical core. Allows these players to keep the ball right in front of them.
And the messenger got it that time. He's having fun now. And I'm telling you, when we talked to Boog yesterday, actually last night, he talked about how much of a box he felt like he was in that match 1 week ago. And you see him lighting up here. You're seeing his personality. He's having more fun. He wanted to get that completely out of his mind because it was just so difficult for him after he only bowled 136 in the title match. And a strike for Sanders.
Great break for Matt right there.
Wasn't very good.
You see
Wasn't very good.
Yeah, you can hear him say it wasn't very good. He got that ball way wide of target, and luckily that came back. Got it out about the 1 or 2 board there.
Always want to remind you, if any of the pros on today's show bowl a perfect game, everyone in America can receive a free game of bowling courtesy of Go Bowling. To pre-register, visit gobowling.com. Sign up for the Go Bowling Free America promotion. As we head into the 5th frame, And Sanders working on 3 strikes, leaves the big 4. Only one time in the history of the PBA has this spare been picked up.
Yeah, a little bit of an errant shot here from Matt. And this is how precise you have to be. At his target, this wasn't bad, but I think he overhit this one. Got too many revs on the ball hooked early, going through the face. And now, since he's working on a strike, he's looking to just get 2 here and keep his count.
He went for that 4-7, 4 shot across the lane, but behind the 6 and the 10. And so an open frame once again for Sanders. He started with the open, threw 3 strikes in a row, and then now in the 5th frame, another open. And we'll see if Boog Croll can take advantage of that opportunity that he's been given by Sanders. And he strikes.
Yeah, you can see Rick on a shot like that. These players are using what's almost like a plastic ball on the lanes, keeping it right in front of them. Boog has so much power here, right up the outside. He's looking to just get the ball into the pocket and mix them around. You're not going to see the ball driving too much, but these players can get away with that because of all their power. If your average league bowler tried to throw this bowling ball right now, they would not get the carry that these high-powered players are getting. But Boog able to create enough revolutions on the ball to get this ball to the pocket and strike.
And the messenger takes the 10 outs, and another strike for Boog Croll. A smile on his face, a lot different from 1 week ago when we saw Boog Croll firing at pins, missing almost everything. So the battle has started. Sanders trailing Croll here in this first match. Well, that is the spirit of Detroit. A large bronze statue created by Marshall Fredericks. That was dedicated back in 1958. Fredericks actually considered that creation of the sculpture his civic duty, as we see the crowd here getting ready for the second half of this first match. And give us a little bit of a rundown on this first match, the Masters pattern.
Yeah, this week we used a 41-foot Masters pattern. That's 35 milliliters of oil. Lots of oil, very slick. You're going to see the players utilizing the outside portion of the lane. So they're going to be around the first and second arrow, using a lot of revs and keeping the ball right in front of them. Very closed down angles today.
Back out onto the lane for his first ball in the 6th frame will be Matt Sanders, again coming off of the open. He had the big 4, and only got 2.
And you can see why they use these plastic balls. Why they can use these plastic balls on these patterns like this. You know, I'm sure a lot of people at home are wondering. But it's because this ball, this plastic ball that Matt is throwing has a core in it, and it flares. And that flare is what allows this ball to read and make the shape like this into the pins. But since it's plastic, it still deflects quite a bit like that. So the issue is getting that 7-pin out. And you can see so far Croll has been able to utilize mixing the pins around and carrying much better than Matt. Ooh,
man, almost missed the 7 again.
Wow.
You saw him roll his eyes. Let's flash back to 2011, and yes, this is Matt Sanders against E.J. Tacket in high school. It was for the Indiana High School bowling title. Sanders bowled for Martinsville High School, the Artisans, and E.J. Tacket bowled for Huntington High School, the Vikings. Sanders defeated Tacket that day 290 to 218. He rolled a spare in the first frame, then 11 straight strikes. A couple young kids there in high school. And as a matter of fact, here in the crowd, we've got the Churchill Chargers, the Dearborn Unified, and a big strike there for Matt Sanders.
Good to see Matt get a little something going. I mean, watching him last night, having all that emotion after making this show, you couldn't help but feel for the guy. I mean, such a freak accident, and not knowing if he was ever going to bowl again, for someone that just loves bowling. So him getting a show, making a show here today is so impressive. Now Boog looking to put the hammer down.
gets a strike there.
And that's why a power player like Boog can use a low performance spare ball S. And we see the side profile of Boog as he planted the foul line, creates so much power, and all that power allows him to get the carry even with this type of bowling ball.
Boog went spare, strike, spare, and now a 4-bagger. As he's entering the 8th frame, and pretty considerable advantage right now over Sanders. You see the max there, 270 to 231 if they were to strike out. And Boog gets lucky there. The 7-pin falling, leaving the 10.
Yeah, another good shot here by Boog, keeping that ball roll end over end. This ball just deflects a little bit too much. Great break there, getting the 7-pin out, leaving a very makeable 10-pin. Just needs to clean it up.
Got it. And another spare for Boog Croll. You mentioned Matt being emotional last night. An interesting format here in the Masters. There were 4 bowlers bowling for 3 spots, and I would liken it to a bear in the woods chasing 4 guys. You don't have to be the fastest, but you definitely can't be the slowest, and it ended up being Brandon Bonta who got eliminated as we see the 8 staying. That hard 8.
Yeah, phenomenal week by Brandon. And I've watched that match before many times over the years, and it is a grueling match. It's slow. Every shot means so much. Just to get through that round of 4 is very impressive. And Matt there, brutal 8-pin here, really needing a double to get back in this match. And all he can do now is spare.
So he picks the spare up. He will bowl in the 9th, and then he'll have to sit and wait and see what Boog will do. You see, he won that first career PBA Tour title.
I roomed with him that week.
Really?
I did, yeah, and he was throwing a plastic ball there too. So when Matt can throw the plastic balls, man, he is a killer. And it's important to know this is actually a different plastic ball than he was throwing all week. He was throwing an axe the rest of the week, but now we're bowling in a completely different set of lanes. And the lanes are playing enough different to where he has to throw something else.
And the 10 stays again. One of the things, you see the frustration on Matt's face, but at the same time, we saw the emotion last night. We talked to him, and this is a win for Matt Sanders, just being able to be on this TV show. As a matter of fact, just being able to compete this year. And so you have to take the good. Obviously, this is not the way he wanted this match to go. And he's going to get that spare.
Yeah, after a freak accident like that, there's so much doubt that creeps in as a player. Can I ever get back to that bowler that I once was? And even though this isn't the performance that Matt necessarily wanted, he has now proven to himself that, hey, I'm still Matt Sanders. I can still make major shows, and I can still compete at the highest level.
A strike here pretty much locks out Sanders if Boog Croll will get a strike in the 9th. He leaves the 10 as well.
You can see this is what Boog is going to fight the whole match. This ball gives these players control to the pocket, but doesn't go through the pins as much. So they're going to be fighting these corner pins, and it's going to be a battle of carry.
You see him glance. You saw him glance over, probably looking at his tour rep, and then made the joke that was a bad rack. He needs 2 pins. 2 pins will lock out Matt Sanders. And he gets 9. So Boog in his first match defeats Matt Sanders and will advance to the second match against Jesper Svensson.
Little good rebound there for Boog.
Yeah.
Last performance on TV.
Yeah, that didn't matter. It is done. And Jesper Svensson will be in front of Boog Croll as he has taken that first step up the rung of the step ladder. 216 is what it took for Boog Croll. The Iceman is back. It's a major, and he is on the TV show. Can he get a Masters today? Didn't bowl his third game, and surprisingly enough, that was the end of Simonson's run at a Masters. As we see, DJ Royce getting the crowd pumped up here inside of Thunderbolt Lanes and the Strobel Arena. And it is time for match number 2. We've already heard from Boog Croll. Let's hear from Jesper Svensson.
My name is Jesper Svensson. Today we're going to win the Masters.
I love the confidence. He is the 3rd seed, and so the higher seed in this match. And he, once again, just like we saw with Sanders, has chose to start. So he will start on that left lane for the first frame.
Yeah, it seems like the lefties think the carry is a little worse on this left lane. They think the wrap 7 is coming into play a little bit more often, so they're electing to finish on that right lane.
And a strike to start off for Jesper Svensson. The Iceman. Wherever you see Jesper Svensson, you're going to see Kyle Troop. Those two guys are like brothers, and we've seen Kyle Troop supporting and following Jesper Svensson around all week after Kyle was eliminated. And now let's see what Boog Croll has here for Jesper Svensson. Maybe a little confidence in that first game.
Yeah, great start with Boog, shooting 216, hitting the pocket, controlling it, looking to keep it going.
And he leaves the 10-pin. Thought he got it.
Yeah, I think this one got a little wider target, but it caught the friction. You see it here. He gave it a little reaction, like this one got a little too much, but gets up to the pocket, just didn't quite drive, and he's going to have to work on his touch, work on his ball speed to try to get the carry today. Because I think Jesper is going to string a little bit more strikes this match.
Picks up the spare. This is such a difficult format. You mentioned it. 390 bowlers started this event on Tuesday. That was whittled down to 63, plus Gary Haynes, who was the defending champion. He was added to that field. And then it was double elimination match play.
Looks like there's a ball change here for Boog, going to a different plastic ball. It worked. Looks like that was an axe. This is a ball he threw more in the matches and qualifying, and it worked. I don't know if it's a fresher surface on this ball, but very similar reaction. You can see this. You can see the line of oil getting tracked over the bowling ball, and drove just enough to get the 6 to tap the 10 there.
And when we say a lane transition, we're seeing it live right there. It's carrying the oil from the pattern and then extending it after the end of the pattern down toward the pins.
Yeah, that was a great live look of why a lane transitions. Now Jesper looking to respond.
He does.
And what happens with these low performance spare balls is they tend to drag oil down the lanes. You see Jesper here throwing a mixed platinum.
We are taking a look in the bag, brought to you by Storm, the standard for those who demand the best. We are the Bowlers Company.
Yeah, this bowling ball, low performance, basically a spare ball, designed not to hook a whole lot, but these players, again, with their rev rate, they're opting to have control. And as a bowler, especially on TV, but no matter what, you're trying to keep pocket control. And these players can do that with these plastic balls and still carry it.
You said a lower performance ball. The hook was at 2.0. Does that mean it's going to be straighter?
Oh, yeah.
Straighter into the pocket?
Much straighter. I mean, it doesn't hook a whole lot more than a house ball you could find at any bowling alley.
And big leave here. 3.56. Is that what I'm seeing?
And what's going to happen with these lower performance balls, if you don't get them hooking early, they're not going to hook down lane. So, yeah, Jesper leaving the 3.56 here. Very makeable.
This is one Jesper, I'm sure, has picked up virtually every time this week if he had left that. And he does it here. So many of the statistics that we're able to see throughout the week and on this event come to us from Lane Talk. And if you want to take your bowling to the next level, head to lanetalk.com. I follow these guys all week, looking at Lane Talk, giving us live updates of scores each frame, and then also paying attention to Bowl TV. And he leaves the 10 pin.
That was really good. Really, really good.
Yeah, you can hear Boog say he really liked that one, and I agree. Rolled it great off his hand, stayed down on it. He made the ball change on that lane, and that's about as good as he could throw it, still leaving the 10 pin. So he's going to have to, again, make some type of adjustment to try to get that 10 pin out, maybe slowing his speed down, getting even more revolutions on it, but looking to stay clean here.
And he does pick up that spare. So a lot of questions right now for Boog Croll. Well, speaking of questions, your favorite board game is now your favorite game show. Don't miss an all-new Trivial Pursuit, hosted by LeVar Burton. That's Thursday at 8/7 Central, right here on the CW. So can he answer the questions of what is the lane doing, what is the right ball? He's got the axe. Got the 7 to fall, but that 10, stubborn. That is a stubborn 10.
Yeah, very much so. Again, we're bowling on a different set of lanes than these players qualified on all week. As you can see, that ball really deflects, and as it hit the pocket, that head pin, it really deflects to the right. That's not really what you want to see as a bowler. That's why that 10 pin is still standing. Again, this is a different set of lanes. These lanes are much tighter than what these players qualified on all week. So this plastic ball that they've been throwing throughout the week just isn't quite going through the pins the way they're used to.
Picks up the spare. Is the 6 pin supposed to be hitting the 10 pin?
Yes, in a perfect world, that 6 pin is getting the 10 pin out. That's when you know you have good ball reaction. Your ball is entering the pins the right way.
Tuck it? Tuck it closer to it? Or... Okay. Just make sure you catch it. Okay.
You can hear the ball reps there say, make sure you catch it. What they're saying there is make sure you hit it and get as many revs on as possible, because you need all the help you can to get that ball to carry. Now Jesper looking to keep his lead.
Jesper had a spare in the last frame, and 9 and leaves the 7 pin.
And these players aren't using plastic just because. In this tournament specifically, urethane wasn't allowed to be thrown. So as another option, these players elected to throw plastic, and that's why you see them throwing these bowling balls on the show right now.
Jesper for the spare, and he'll cover. Well, a year ago, Easter Sunday, the PBA Tournament of Champions in Fairlawn, Ohio, it was #1 seed Jesper Svensson defeating the #6 seed Jacob Buttram. He's attempting to climb the stepladder and win his second Tournament of Champions. That was his 13th career PBA title and second career major for Jesper Svensson. And now he's looking to add a Masters title to his resume. And the 5 pin. We're going to see a few hands in the air. Yep, even Jesper. Jesper says, go ahead, put them up. Anytime you leave the 5 pin. And whatever bowling center you're in, everybody's going to put their hand up.
Oh, yeah. And this is going to be a very expensive round if he misses this one, packed as this place is.
Great raucous crowd here. You see the hands in the air there for the 5-pin. Maybe, the 5, yeah, we just saw Brandon Bonner put his hand up, but the 5 should be having their hands up, or part of the 5. And Jesper's going to pick it up. Boog getting ready to bowl in the 5th frame here. Boog trailing in this, but a big strike there for Boog Croll, and mentally that has to be very good for him, right, Taryn?
Yeah, we're seeing a totally different Boog Croll than we saw last Sunday, and that was part of the plan. He wanted to have more fun. He said he felt like last weekend he was trapped in a tiny box that he just couldn't get out of. He said he wanted to be more open this week. You saw him talking to his ball reps earlier. He wanted to be more open to suggestions they had. Also, he said after last Sunday, he got off social media completely for a few days until he was back in the throes of competition again. And he said once he was back and competing here, it was completely behind him, Rick.
He had Packy Hanrahan around him a lot, too. Just said that was very helpful for him. And he's out to double.
Come on.
So Boog Croll, yeah, now putting the pressure back on Jesper Svensson. Seen a little chip on the shoulder of Boog Croll. And so this battle just got a lot closer. Boog Croll, Jesper Svensson when we return. In the wings, that's CJ Tacket, the #1 seed. And talking to his tour reps, actually. In the orange there is Brett Spangler. And Brett has been with EJ through every year of his success and his career. And EJ really trusts him, every word he says, his attitude, everything he does. He said he wouldn't be here if it wouldn't be for Brett Spangler as we get ready for Jesper coming off of a spare. And he strikes in the 6th. You see the max scores separated by 4 right now. And Svensson. And we're going to hear, it looks like a re-rack there for Jesper Svensson. Saw the 4-pin difference there, 255 to 259. How about hobbies for Jesper? Yeah, golf, loves that. Born to Bowl now is his favorite show, which is probably a good call. Bowling moment, winning the World Championships in Dubai with his girlfriend is one of his biggest bowling moments.
Jesper just taken his 2nd re-rack of the game on this left lane, the troubled lane. So he is now out of re-racks for the rest of the game. Looking to double, take the lead.
Oh, you heard him say go at the end, and he leaves the 7. So he does have a timeout. These bowlers, they have a time clock that they will have to adhere to. 25 seconds from the time the ball comes out of the return and stops on the rack that they have to begin their approach.
Yeah, he'll use that if he needs to reset later in the match. And this is why the lefties especially are opting to finish on that right lane, because this left lane just doesn't have the carry like the right lane does.
And he'll pick up that spare. Scratching the head a little bit for Jesper Svensson, trying to figure out exactly what is going on. This morning he got on a video call with his daughter, Mira. His daughter, Mira, is only 3.5 years old, but that's the only way he's able to talk to his daughter and his girlfriend back in Sweden, as Boog Croll with a slight advantage trying to keep that. And he'll leave the 10-pin. So coming off of 2 strikes, we're going to try to pick up the spare here. And now we see that 3-pin advantage as far as the max between Svensson and Croll. Taryn.
Well, Rick, you mentioned Svensson finally being able to talk to his daughter and his girlfriend back home with the time change back to Sweden. It's really tough. And I was talking to him about this season and being far away from home, and he said that's by far the most difficult part of all of this, the way the schedule worked out last season. He could go home every so often and see them and kind of reset. He said last year he had a bad stretch of a month, went home for 5 or 6 days, came back a totally new person, totally new bowler. He said this year it's just not that way, and he understands it's more of a mental marathon, but he's figuring out how to navigate it as we go, Rick.
And we'll see if he can navigate. Oh, the messenger takes the 4 out, and he needed that one. That would have been a very difficult spare to pick up.
Huge break there for Boog. In a match right now where it's about controlling the pocket and both players struggling to catch a double, you just want to stay clean. Getting that 4 out, just leaving the 9, absolutely massive. I mean, that's almost like throwing a double in a match like this right now.
And he's going to get the spare. Still confident. That walk of Bud Croll. And now Jesper. So there is an opening. Jesper now with the advantage if he can come back here and strike in the 8th. Jesper looking at a max of 235 to put the pressure right squarely on the shoulders of Bud Croll. And the wrap 7.
Another good shot there for Jesper. As we see the Iceman's form, doing exactly what he wants to, but that 6 just wrapping right around the 7. And these low performance plastic balls, spare balls, you know, you talk about transition earlier, Rick. Most reactive balls take oil off the lane. They make the lane hook more. Well, these type of low performance balls, they drag oil down the lane. So it makes the lane, makes the...
He asked about timeouts.
Yeah, 100%.
He's going to grab one there. Joey, his tour rep was Storm.
Yeah, I wanted to get a look at what they were saying there, but it makes the lane tighter down lane. So the ball, when it exits the pattern, it doesn't hook as much. So they're throwing a ball that already doesn't hook a whole lot down lane. The oil's getting dragged down lane. That's why you're seeing the ball have a hard time go through the pins and get the carry, even though these guys are putting over 500 revs on it and throwing it 18 miles an hour.
You see the ideal shot on the strike. And his ball just inside of that mark.
Look at the rev rate here. 565. I mean, that is absolutely astronomical. And that was the adjustment that he wanted to do on that lane. He wanted to catch it as much as he could. He did, still having an issue knocking all 10 down. But looking to spare here, again, this match has come down to who can throw a double, who can stay clean. And Jesper looking to convert the 10 pin here.
You mentioned stay clean. Both bowlers are still clean. We saw open frames in the first match. No open frames here for either bowler, and Jesper just not feeling good about the way his ball is carrying through the pins.
Yeah, he felt like he did all he could there and still didn't get the result he wanted to. Now, Boog stepped up here in the 9th, foundation frame, has the hammer, has a chance to extend his lead.
And the messenger takes the 10 out, and a big strike for Bud Croll.
What a huge shot for Boog here in the 9th frame. Absolutely giving this one the business. And gets the love on the 10 pin. Look at that look on the way back. Boog might not be the biggest bowler, but man, does he have a ton of power. And now stepping up in the 10th.
Strike 9 gives him 215. He only needs to beat Svensson's 213. A strike here would give him the confidence, and he gets it. Boog 9 pins away from taking another step up the ladder.
I think a timeout.
He asked for a timeout.
Just gotta breathe.
Yeah, the adrenaline's going a little bit after that one.
Got to breathe.
I want this.
This is, as a player, you need to stay present. Even though that was a great shot, the job is not finished here. You got to regain composure. Understand what you need to do. See the shot and just execute. 9 pins here. Shut out Jesper.
And if we see a strike here, it'll be followed by a huge smile from Boog Croll. He gets it!
This is the Boog we're used to seeing on TV.
Just heard him yell, "I want this." Boog Croll now locked in. And another strike. He strikes out in the 10th and takes out Jesper Svensson. And so now it's Boog Croll who advances, and he will take on the 21-year-old, Eric Jones. Jones was masterful all week long. And now will Eric Jones be able to slow down this hard-charging Boog Croll? He's won 2 matches already. All right, we're getting ready once again here inside of Strobel Arena for the 3rd match, and let's hear from Eric Jones.
I'm here in Michigan competing for my first major championship. I'm Eric Jones.
Not only first major championship, but first title. He has yet to win a title at 21 years old. This is just his 3rd television appearance. The one thing he has going for him, though, is he has been working his way up the Masters ladder. He can't finish worse than 3rd as far as Eric Jones goes. Eric is the first of the higher seeds to make the lower seed start on that left lane. Before, we had heard all of them wanting to start on that left lane. Eric Jones has decided to put Boog Croll out there first, and Boog leaves the 10.
Yeah, Eric just might be seeing something different than the other lefties, or he just wants to make Boog have to throw it if he needs to in the 10th, which is a great idea as a competitor. Boog looking to stay clean to start this match.
He got the spare. You see the fist pump.
Yeah.
This is a mental game as much as it is physical. One thing that Boog doesn't want to show is that he's disappointed in a spare that he got there to his competitor, Eric Jones.
Absolutely, and the scores haven't been too high right now, so a spare in the first isn't going to hurt him at all, and this is very interesting. Eric actually going with reactive to start this match. Probably watched the other lefties, saw it wasn't good enough, looking to throw something different.
Little waft there out of Eric Jones and a smile on his face. You know, one of the amazing things that happened for Eric Jones is bowling today because of Jason Belmonte. He watched him on a YouTube video. He had to bowl against Jason Belmonte during match play, and he beat him. And this was the response that we got from Belmo. His ball change and execution from Game 2 was the best I've ever seen him bowl. I have a lot of respect for how great he is, but I will get him next time. It was really impressive to watch Eric Jones go up against Belmo, a 7-time player of the year, and this 21-year-old was able to better him. And he strikes in the 2nd frame.
Yeah, Eric, and a lot of these young two-handers, man, they have so many tricks. They're doing things to the bowling ball that really haven't been done before, throwing it regular, throwing it back up. You see Eric a little high right here. Tripping out the 6-8, huge break to start up with a double, take an early lead on Boog. But yeah, Eric, so impressive with all the tricks he can do with the bowling ball. Now Boog looking for his first strike of the match.
That 7's going to stay.
Little up the lane.
Little up the lane.
Yeah, what Boog means by that, as you can see his ball entering the pins here. Ooh, the 5-7-10 was standing there for a second. But what he meant there, up the lane, he wants to get the ball slightly right to the friction. That's where the hook is. That's where his ball is going to see the lane and start shaping into the pocket. If he doesn't do that, he's not going to be able to have the entry angle that he wants to go through the pins, and he's going to have a less of a chance to carry, as you saw with that shot right there.
Boog's hobby is golf, and he's only been doing it for about 2 years. Already has a hole-in-one, so very impressive there. He said his bowler moment, winning that first PBA Tour title. Again, Boog has 2 titles, and Boog Croll, we talked about when he first started out in the PBA, he was staying in hotel rooms by himself. Didn't think mentally that was good. We heard a no, and the result is actually, oh, yes.
Yeah, he got away with that one again. That's not what he's trying to do. He got that one up the lane. He's given the hold call there. And luckily, he's throwing such a low-performance ball that this isn't going to overreact. And luckily, gets him to mix up enough to just give a little tap to that 4-pin there. And he'll take that all day.
Yeah, your mental health gets a lot better when you throw strikes.
Oh, yeah. Now, Eric, able to throw a reactive ball now. Let's see if he can start with a turkey.
And he'll get the turkey. 3 strikes in a row for Eric Jones. He's got the cheering section here with him, doesn't he, Taryn?
Yeah, he's proudly a member of the 5 that we introduced you to last week. They're best buddies who bowl and travel together. And Eric brought a really interesting travel story to our doorstep yesterday when we talked to him. He said the 5 arrived at their Airbnb this week in Detroit. Code was wrong, couldn't get in the front door, but the side door was unlocked, which then he found concerning. He was worried if we can get into the house, anyone get into the house. So he went to the house, grabbed the knife, and said, "Get behind me, guys. I'll lead us through the house and make sure it's all clear." Now, some of the guys did do exactly that. Others, he said, went a little rogue, and we asked why. He said, "Well, you don't want to be the guy in the house who doesn't have a knife." There you go.
Normally a very quiet young man, and he is playing to the crowd right now. And you see a very focused Eric Jones. He's quiet, and on the alleys, when he's on the lane, you don't really think of him as very outgoing. But when you got him one-on-one, he is funny. He is having a great time. And that's not what Boog wanted to see, as the 7-pin stays up for him.
Yeah, Boog in a tough spot right now, because the last thing he wanted to see was Eric start with a 4-bagger. Boog's kind of been surviving by shooting these, 2-team, 220 ball reaction and just staying clean. But right now, Eric looking like he's going to put a bigger game up than that. So Boog in the back of his head's got to be thinking, man, I might need to make an adjustment to try to stay with Eric this match.
And he does pick up that 7. So we go from this historic site to a historic site for NASCAR. Yeah, Saturday, the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series returns to the legendary Rockingham Speedway. The Rock is known for drama, speed, and that old-school grit. Don't miss a second of pure raw racing from Rockingham. That's Saturday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern, 10:30 a.m. Pacific, only on the CW. Rick Allen, Kyle Sherman, and Taryn Hatcher with you here in Thunderbowl Lanes, as waiting to see if Boog Croll can put together a few strikes, because he's going to need to right now, as Eric Jones has started off with a 4-bagger.
Yeah, Boog conversing with his ball reps, asking, what can I do to get the 10-pin out? And I think it's just make the best shot you can here. Try to rip the rack, and that's what he does. Great shot there, going to enter. Commercial break for Boog. That's exactly what you want to do. Staying alive in this match. Absolutely pure as this one. Again, you can see that oil line on the bowling ball. Perfect strike there for Boog. Exactly what he was trying to execute. Now Eric here, stepping up in the 5th, looking to extend his lead. And the reason he's able to throw reactive is, you see he's throwing an effect tour, a lot more hook rating than you saw the other guys throw, is because they've thrown plastic. They've stretched the lane, as we like to call it. Oil is dragged down. He now has hold. which allows him to throw a ball like this.
And not a good spare to leave. So a big split here for Eric Jones, and this one will be tough to pick up.
Yeah, this
4, 6,
one
10.
breaks loose on Eric down lane. Looking a little confused after that shot.
How do you pick it up?
Yeah, he's going to try to go to the left side of this 2-pin, try to slide it over and hit the 6-10.
In a numbers game, he picks up 2, but an open frame for Eric Jones. And what that does, and we made the comment earlier, Boog is going to go to a commercial break, which is going to be about 3.5 minutes of sitting there thinking about what your last ball was. Now Eric Jones has to think, man, I just had an open frame, and he's going to have to think about that. He wants to get that out of his mind, so he really wants to have a strike here in the 6th. And an uh-oh there, missing the head pin.
You can see that one got very wide of target down lane, getting out to about the 1 board. This is not what you want to see as a player. When you miss a little left, it misses the head pin. And when you get one where you catch it a little bit more, it goes through the face. So this is going to be quite the adjustment for Eric going into commercial break, trying to figure out why his blown ball is doing this. First time he's left this all week. He's got to convert.
He does.
The hard way.
Covers the spare, but now he'll have to sit and think about it. As we take a quick break, the young Eric Jones started off very, very hot, but an open frame and a spare now has opened the door for Croll. Yeah, playing the good tunes here. And we saw Boog Croll earlier was kind of getting into the music. Now he's a little more focused on he needs strikes. Today, 11 of 15 on the left lane, 4 for 12 on the right lane.
Yeah, this right lane's been an issue. Huge double here for Boog if he can get it.
He does. So the little break does not hurt Boog Croll, and you see now he's getting back into it. Getting back into it. It looked a little bit like of a mountain to climb when Jones started off with the front 4. But now, after the open in the 5th and a spare, Boog Croll right back in this match. As a matter of fact, you see has the better max. He can get to 259 where Jones can only get to 252. And a little deeper in the pocket there. He's going to leave 2-8.
Yeah, a little
Super slow feet that time.
Yeah, Boog there, wide of target, down lane. He was asking it to come off of it, meaning he wanted the ball to see the friction and hopefully start hooking. It didn't, leaving the 2-8. Very makeable spare, but big missed opportunity for Boog there to really take the lead on Eric.
And he will pick up that spare. So a smile still on the face. But what he has done now is he's opened the door for Eric Jones.
And the pocket is kind of wide. I was like,
Yeah, aggravating there for Boog. That was his good lane. Had a real chance of an opportunity there. But Eric, the last 2 balls he's thrown, he's gotten 6 both times. Looking to regroup here. Big shot.
Oh, gosh, Eric.
Didn't hit the head pin, missed it on the right side. What are we seeing here out of the 21-year-old?
Yeah, take another look at this shot. Remember, the last one, the left lane got out to 1 down lane. This one got to about 9 or 10 down lane. So big miss right for him coming out of commercial break. Luckily, leaving something he can pick, but needs a spare here to stay in the match with Boog.
Straight ball, actually a little bit of a backup ball, and he leaves the 4-pin. So another open frame Eric Jones. Well, new cases, new twists, and a new partnership like no other. Don't miss an all-new episode of Wild Card. That's tomorrow at 8/7 Central right here on the CW. Regroup, Eric Jones. Disc golf is his hobby away from bowling. Mr. Fantastic Fox. Neighbor Andy is music artist and winning his first regional is his bowler moment. He wanted to be winning the Masters, his bowler moment. Right now he's got to really lock in.
That's good.
A lot better ball there, but he leaves the 7.
Much better shot there for Eric. And that is a very difficult shot after 3 errant ones. And take a look at that loft. I mean, that ball is landing just before the arrows. He liked that one. Unfortunately, didn't carry. But he's definitely not out of it yet here. Spare here, still can max out for 218. Very much in this match.
And he does pick up the spare. Oh, he waited on it. You saw Brandon Bonta there telling him, come on. If you remember Brandon Bonta in the Players' Championship to start the year, went on to the title match, pulled a perfect 300 game. He's part of the 5, the guys that get their Airbnb together.
Yeah, those kids are new to tour, but man, they are fierce on the lanes. Boog,
equally fierce with a strike there.
Yeah, Boog looked like he made a hand position change at some point. Actually started tucking his pinky. Breathe. Because he needs to get as many revolutions on the ball as possible. And when he tucks that pinky, it allows him to wrap that hand around the ball just even faster and hit it as much as he can.
As for re-rack, you see those open frames for Eric Jones in the 5th and the 7th. Still a clean scorecard for Boog Croll. And will the 10 fall? It's not going to. This will be the last time Boog will be on the right lane.
Yeah, he wanted that one. Almost got the break there. Come on. This would have been absolutely massive for Boog. Throws a good one here. 6 almost leans into the 10.
Mentioned right lane, left lane. That's the last time Boog will be on the left lane. He'll finish up on the right lane. And now Eric Jones to finish out this game. Will bowl the 9th and the 10th. And you see how close it is. If they both strike out from here, Jones wins it by a pin.
Yeah, he's backs against the wall right now. This is something he's used to. Remember, he was down 30 to Belmont in one of his matches through the front 10 to win that game. Needs to find some of that right here. Oh.
And he leaves the 10 pin. Doesn't mean he's out.
That is an unbelievably bad break for Eric. Perfect shot here after a couple errant ones on this lane. An upper decker 10 pin in a spot like this. I mean, just brutal.
He picks up the spare in the 9th. And now, to get to 207, he's got to strike out in the 10th.
This is the biggest frame of Eric's young career. Needs all 3 in the 10th to get to 207, basically forcing Croll to double to win. But it all starts with this first one.
He gets the strike to start.
That's the first one.
That's the pressure. And rising to it for Eric Jones.
Count is big here, so this next one's important, but the fill ball, if he gets to it, just as important.
Yeah, the only way, if he strikes out here, the only way Boog Croll wins this match is if he starts off with that double in the 10th. And he hit the solid head pin. Leaves the 4-7.
That was so good.
A little bit of a bigger breath there for Boog Croll, seeing that it won't be as difficult to win this match, but it's still not a given. He's going to end at 196. And now for Croll to win, he has to mark in the 10th frame. Mark in the 10th, and Boog Croll has continued to run the stepladder. Remember, Boog started off as our number 5 seed. And a strike there does it. Boog Croll has now made his way past the 4th seed, the 3rd seed, and Eric Jones will go down as the 2nd seed. Boog Croll is on to the title match against E.J. Tacket. What a run we have seen out of Boog Croll. 1 week ago, in the title match as the number 1 seed, he could not advance and get that title. Now he's 1 win away from a Masters title, but he's got to go through Tacket. It all comes down to this. Yes, the Masters trophy is on the line. Take a look between the arrows of this championship match. Both right-handers. 33 for E.J. Tacket, 30 for Boog Croll. They've both been a part of the PBA for quite some time. The title's a big difference there in 7 majors, but this is the Masters. And in a head-to-head battle between Boog Croll and E.J. Tacket, Boog Croll actually has the advantage. He was able in 2024 to outdo Tacket. Let's hear from the number 1 bowler in the world, E.J. Tacket.
I'm E.J. Tacket, and if I can win 1 match today, I'm going to complete the career Grand Slam.
And he has decided that he will start this match on the left lane. Fastest bowler in the PBA, head pin square, and he leaves the 310.
Take a look at EJ's side profile here. Probably the most powerful one-handed bowler on the tour. This shot just left of target all the way, goes to the face, leaving the 310.
And the spare ball only gets the 3. He leaves the 10, an open frame for EJ Tacket.
Yeah, this is the first time we're going to see another righty attack the lanes. Boog's only faced lefties so far. So I like Boog's chances because he has a good feel of what the lanes are doing right now. But if anyone can figure them out, it's the best bowler in the world, EJ Tacket.
First ball for Boog. And he'll leave the 10 pin.
See Boog's ball doing pretty much what it's been doing the whole time. He hasn't moved a whole lot. Still deflecting. Still leaving 10 pins. Remember, this right lane has had a harder time carrying on it. And if you're EJ, you're thinking, okay, Boog has control of the pocket, but he's not shooting a ton of scores. So even though he has that open frame early, he knows He has plenty of life to come back in it. Boog still opting to throw that low performance bowling ball.
There's the strike numbers for Boog Croll. 11 on the left lane, 7 on the right. And this time the messenger does get the 10 pin. And a little attitude being shown there out of Boog Croll. Now, the squirrel steps up as we take one more look at Boog's strike. Also head pin and a big split here.
This one again, just a little left of target. A little uncharacteristic for EJ. We typically don't see him make shots like that, let alone 2 in a row. But again, makeable spare here. He's going to try to hit the right side of this 3-pin. The front one, slide it over into the 7.
Misses the 3-pin. Gets the 6-10. And so an open frame back-to-back for EJ Tacket.
Have a rack, please.
Early call for a re-rack for EJ Tacket.
Yeah, you can see we have 2 balls highlighted here for EJ's arsenal. He's throwing 2 different balls on each lane. The left lane, the Venom Shock, and on the right lane, the Lethal Venom. Slightly stronger than the Venom Shock, although it looks like he's making a ball change again and actually going to throw that Lethal Venom on this left lane. So same ball now on both lanes.
Will the messenger get it? No, not enough momentum. Those pins weigh anywhere from 3 pounds 6 ounces to 3 pounds 10 ounces. Kind of a sweet spot, 3 pounds 8 ounces. Not enough momentum there to knock down the 10.
Much better shot out of EJ though. Great projection on it. Just didn't quite get the carry. He's going to look to dial that in, start making some better shots.
And the first mark comes in the 3rd frame for EJ Tacket. That is unheard of.
Yeah, if you're Boog, I mean, you just got quite the gift of EJ having 17 in the 2nd. Now, Boog working on a strike here in the 3rd. This is where you have an opportunity here to really take a lead on EJ because you know he's going to come back in this match. Big shot for Boog.
And he'll leave the 10. Boog seeing the opening and wanting to capitalize. Hitting the pocket, just not able to get the pins to react and take out that 10. Stays clean.
The Boog has what we call safe ball reaction right now. He has control of the pocket, but he doesn't really have the ball reaction to throw 5 in a row and shoot something really high. So far, that's been good enough to win every match. And right now, he's thinking, oh, EJ has 17 in the 2nd. I'm not changing a thing. I'm going to let him make the mistakes, and I'm going to keep doing my thing. But that's dangerous when you're talking about EJ Tacket, a guy who can throw a 5-bagger on any condition that you put out on the lane.
Yeah, EJ Tacket could strike out from here. And a big strike there for Boog Croll. Boog could also strike out from here. You still see the max score is 247 for Tacket. And now Boog Croll at 270. We've heard Boog say numerous times today, breathe. I need to breathe. And right there, we saw him take a deep breath when he sat down.
Left again. Oh!
Is that a turning point? When you have no idea if it's going to happen, but it does. Here's a young E.J. Tacket taking on Belmo. This was 12 years ago in 2014. Tacket was just in his early 20s and ends up the runner-up in the Masters. That's his only television appearance in the Masters until today.
There you go.
Yeah, you asked if that was a turning point. I think it was. That was the best shot EJ's thrown this match. That last one on the right lane, very errant. He hit it early, but got away with it. Now he has a double back in this thing, putting the pressure right back on Boog. And this is an EJ Tacket quality shot right here. And that's what's scary, because if he starts throwing shots like that, Boog has to figure out this right lane, has to start stringing them together.
I'll remind you, E.J. Tacket has been in 80 television appearances. 80. He knows the pressure. He knows how to rise to the level he needs to as Boog Croll leaves that 10-pin again.
Yeah, this isn't a replay. This is just what's happening.
It actually is a replay.
Well, it's happening over and over. And you can see, look at that max score now creeping closer and closer together. Now just a 3-pin gap.
And Boog stays clean. And again, the reason there's a little bit of frustration on his face is he knew he had E.J. Tacket in a hole and wasn't able to capitalize with strikes. So right now, Boog has gone spare, strike, spare, strike, spare.
Yeah, this has been Boog's good lane the entire match. He's been able to get the carry. This lane's picking up a little bit more, allowing his ball to go through the pins a little bit better. Needs to keep striking on this lane.
And a big split here.
Dude, that was so good.
Tough break for Boog right there, leaving the 4-9. And, you know, this lane has been reading a little bit earlier, allowing his ball to go through the pins, but on that shot, just read a little bit too much, a little high in the pocket. And a very tough break there for Boog.
How does he pick it up?
Needs to hit the left side of the 4-pin, the left pin, slide it over into the 9, needs a hook.
It was close. Heard him say, "You're all right." So make sure after the show, head to the PBA social media at PBA Tour for the Go Bowling post-game show presented by AMF. Does he respond after the last strike? He leaves the 10-pin.
Much better shot, though, out of EJ on this right lane. He finally trusted one out there. You heard him telling himself that before that shot, but just doesn't quite get the 6 to tap the 10 there. Uh-oh.
A close one. A very close one there for E.J. Tacket.
Good shot.
Road to the final for E.J. has been phenomenal. As a matter of fact, record-breaking. In the matches, in match play, he averaged over 258.39. That shatters the record that used to be 250.
Yeah, I mean, those are video game numbers right there. It's unbelievable what he did to his opponents in match play.
And a big strike there for E.J. Tacket.
We got a match, Rick.
And again, this one is uninterrupted, so there isn't a break in the middle of this match, and that means that Boog's right back out on the lane, and a little bit of luck goes a long way.
Yeah, that's the good lane. That's the lane that picks up a little bit more for both players. EJ's going to have to make a little move left on that lane. Now, Boog, again, this right lane, having trouble getting the 10-pin out. What is he going to do to try to knock down all 10? Because he needs it right here.
And a big strike for Boog Croll.
Unbelievable shot for Boog right here.
Maybe a timeout.
Looked like he slowed it down just a little bit. Gave the ball time to react.
That was a good
Went
one.
through the pin so much better. Split the 8-9.
One more.
I mean,
One more.
you couldn't have drawn it up any better than that.
One more.
So now that is the first time that Boog has struck on that lane. He had gone spare, strike, spare, strike, spare, open, and then the strike.
One more, Boog.
Going up on this left lane. Remember last time he 4-9 to win a little high. He's going to have to make a little adjustment. But a lot of times with these lower performance balls, moving too much can really cause problems. So let's see what kind of adjustment he makes.
The right one. Big strike for Boog Croll. And now he has put the pressure right back on E.J. Tacket. If they strike out, Boog Croll wins by a pin. Pressure squarely on the shoulders of E.J. Tacket. And the 10 pin stays up.
That lane, the ball just doesn't like to come off of it as much. And that has to do with the low performance spare ball that Boog's throwing down the lane. It's carrying oil down the lane, so even a reactive ball doesn't like to hook as much when it starts to make his motion, thus leaving that 10 pin. Even a player of EJ's caliber, so many reps, is having a hard time battle that transition on the right lane.
Re-rack, please.
EJ's calling for a re-rack.
Good job. Come on.
Take a look at the top seeds since 2022 and the fluctuation that we have seen.
Come on.
Even this year, only once has the #1 seed been able to win. That was Simonson 2 weeks ago.
Huge shot for EJ here. Foundation frame, 9th frame. Seems like he has to have it.
And he gets it. E.J. Tacket striking in the 9th. Now he's going to sit down and he'll wait to see what he has to do in the 10th and if he'll have a chance to win this.
Yeah, great shot for here on EJ. The ball comes off of it so much better than that right lane, through the pins, has no problem carrying. But now, Boog Croll stepping up to throw the biggest 2 frames of his life to be crowned a Masters champion. Foundation frame, 9th frame.
And the 10 is standing so strong.
Come on.
Look at the max scores. A spare and striking out gives him 206. Tacket striking out gives him 206. Could we have a roll-off for the Masters Championship?
I can't even breathe right now, Rick.
Boog would say breathe, breathe. And he picks that spare up. 1 ball roll-off. By the way, Tacket has been part of the longest roll-off. As we see the scoreboard, those 2 open frames for Tacket. If he ends up losing this match, he's going to look back at how he started.
This first one's huge. First shot in the 10th to keep the count. Boog Croll.
Big strike. Boog Croll. First ball in the 10th.
I love his reaction there, Rick. Didn't overreact. In a moment like this, you have to stay calm. That first one's huge, but the job isn't finished. He understands that he has some big, big shots to throw right now.
We're seeing a more direct line than what we show on our graphics as far as the ideal line for Boog Croll there. That was not straight, but it was a lot straighter than what we have said would be the ideal trajectory.
Yeah, Boog right now is just trying to be absolutely aggressive, absolutely ripping the cover off this ball. Huge strike.
And a little deep in the pocket, leaving the 2-8. And the spare here puts him at 196.
Yeah, this
normally an easy spare.
Yeah, normally an easy spare. Really important to convert both pins here. And looked like Boog just got a little amped on that shot. You see running that out. This ball, he really needs to stay slow with it and hit it. Got a little too fast on that one, but huge spare here. Needs 2 pins.
He got 2 pins. So now E.J. Tacket knows exactly what he has to do. He needs 2 strikes and a pin. He's got to get the first 2. E.J. backs away. Comments from the crowd. But Croll waits.
E.J., last 2 shots on this lane, hasn't been able to get the ball to quite go through the pins.
If he wants a Masters championship, he's got to strike here. He does on the first. 1 more for E.J. Tacket, and he joins the elite. A Masters championship puts him in the category of Grand Slam winner.
I'm going to take my timeout just so I can take time.
E.J. knows the pressure of this throw, this roll right here.
It looked like E.J. made a little adjustment there, added a little bit of loft to his shot. That allowed his ball to not see the friction that's in the front part of the lane and retain more energy. You saw the ball go through the pins so much better on that shot. Huge adjustment for E.J.
A strike here, and E.J. Tacket will win the Masters. The 10-pin stays up. Boog Croll is the 2026 Masters champion. $196, $195. Boog Croll asked for redemption.
You're the best in the world, man.
Congratulations.
We did it.
I'm sure he's looking to his wife Hazel right now. She didn't make the trip. He needed a strike. E.J. Tacket had to get a strike right here at a ring 10. You see the agony of defeat. Boog Croll knew it right away. He is the Masters champion. It's time to give him the hardware. Taryn?
All right, I'm joined now by USBC President Dennis Hacker, who has a few words along with a pretty nice trophy.
Boog, I think I'm about to make a few people back home really happy.
You are.
Congratulations. You are the Masters champion for 2026.
Let's go! All right, Boog. I can see the emotion all over your face. I saw you make a phone call. First, I have to ask you, Masters champion, how does that feel?
It's incredible. This is for everyone back home. This is for my wife, Hazel. She came out last week. Wasn't able to make it this week. This is definitely for her. This is a life that I never expected, and we're going to really enjoy this one.
Can I ask, who did you call and what did they say?
I called Hazel, Packy, and FaceTimed her, and just she was balling, I was balling. It's just a wonderful feeling, and I'm a major champion. It's crazy.
Now, I saw you. I mean, I've never seen tension quite like when EJ called that last time out. What's going through your mind in that moment?
He's the best in the world for a reason. I can't beat him in certain moments. And we talked about it when he beat me in match play. It's like, he's the best in the world. I just got to keep getting there to that position to beat him. And this is the one. I take this one, but he's an incredible bowler. He's one of the best in the world. And this right lane is just hard.
He's an incredible bowler, but today you are the champion. Congratulations, Bug.
Thank you so much.
Guys.
That's right. The 2026 Masters champion. He just mentioned it. It's his first major title. Bug Croll went from bowling a 136 a week ago in the title match to now being the Masters champion.
Yeah, you talk about redemption. That's what Boog talked about. New week, new him, and I'd say he redeemed himself pretty good.
Our PBA Tour coverage, powered by Go Bowling, continues next Sunday on the CW at 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific. It's the Pilgrims PBA Ohio Classic from the Columbus Square Bowling Palace in Columbus, Ohio. For Kyle Sherman, Taryn Hatcher, and our entire CW crew, I'm Rick Allen. So long from Allen Park, Michigan. You have been watching the PBA on the CW. Bug Croll is the Masters champion.